because it's better for my personal hips and knees. Easy cross-legged never feels good to my hips and my legs. So, however you're comfortable. Now just closing your eyes, bringing the hands together in front of the heart. As you breathe in, really let your low belly push out. And as you're inhaling, that energy will rise up to the rib cage and the top of the heart. So really feel it filling up. And exhale nice and slow. As you exhale, use the muscles of the torso to kind of keep lifting the rib cage up. Normally when we breathe in, the diaphragm goes down, the rib cage goes up, and then as we exhale, they come back together again. So if we keep the rib cage kind of lifted up muscularly on the exhale, the diaphragm comes back up, but it keeps this light little myofascial stretch that allows energy, blood flow to go between the attachment, the diaphragm, and the rib cage. So you also want to keep the back body engaged as well. So even though we're pushing out the low belly, think about a way that you could be also pushing out the back of the body. And it takes a little bit of imagination to get connected to the back body because we can't see it. And then with your hands together in front of the heart, just gently press the thumbs and the sternum, the heart together, just a little bit so you feel an energy across the collarbone and the top of the shoulder blades. You can add the Ujjayi breath, just that light snoring type of a sound in the back of the throat. In the heart center, you can set an intention for your practice today, just planting a little seed for yourself in the garden of the heart. In the center of the palms, we can make an offering of blessing for somebody else. And our community offering has been just to send out light and love from your own heart across the planet, just landing innately on whoever needs a little bit of extra light and love. And we'll just throw in there a Memorial Day blessing as well. We'll open with one Om, full breath in. Just coming on into tabletop position, all fours. You may want to have some knee pads. I have some cut up yoga mats close by. It's rooting down through the hands, taking the knees a little bit behind the line of your hip creases, tuck the toes. On the inhale, lifting up through the heart, chest, and chin, kind of sticking the butt out. Exhale, rounding through, tucking the chin to the chest. Inhaling back to cow pose. Exhaling to cat round. Keeping the foundations of the hands and the knees, start to see which way you can be moving your pelvis and shoulder girdle, taking the torso maybe in circular motions. Maybe just pressing back towards the heels with the tush and then forward with the shoulders way forward. Let's see what kind of happens organically for your own body. As we bring the body forward towards that cow pose, the rib cage kind of presses to the floor, but the belly is still toned. That's the inhale. As you round through the back body, that's the exhale. Sometimes it's nice to play around and reverse that motion of breath too. Start to balance out any motions of the body you've been taking. Lining the shoulders up once again over the wrists. Tuck your toes if they're pointed. Try to lengthen your mat back by pushing your toes down and back, and then push your bum towards your heels so you get a nice stretch from the bottom of the foot. This will help with cramping later on. On the next inhale, come on forward, point the toes, press the butt back towards child's pose, and then slide your hands back behind you so you're kind of sitting in a simple hero pose, and then lift your knees to stretch the top of the foot. And you don't have to lift the knees. You can just lean back, press your toenails down into the floor, just getting the digits of the toes kind of fired up, getting the fascia pliable and flexible. It helps when we're in this damp, humid weather. It can help with cramping later on through the practice. Come on back forward. Bring it back through tabletop. Tuck the toes, take it up for downward dog. Pedaling out the feet. And then come to a nice, strong, steady downward dog. Jacking the bum up, pressing the heels down, pull the navel in, send the heart energy forward, the arm bones come into the socket, the head hangs between the arms. Use the hands and the arms to push the mat down and forward. Use the ball of the foot to push the mat down and back as you send the bum up, heels down. Look forward, bend your knees. Just start to walk your feet forward, coming to the top of the mat in a forward fold. Bend the knees, hammock your hands in opposite elbow creases. Let your torso and head hang like a waterfall or a willow tree. Take the weight forward to the ball of the feet as you press the heels down. Tone your low belly like you're pulling your belly way in. Letting the head just hang. Give the head a little nod, yes. A little shake, no. Bring the head center, release the arms with your knees bent, roll it up. Just a little body wave up, reach the arms up, lengthen up, reach up, curl back. Inhaling up, center, exhale, chair pose, hands to the heart. Holding steady. On the next inhale, rise back up, tall mountain. You can keep the hands together, thumbs crossed, curl back, or separate the wrists. Inhale, straight up, tall mountain. Exhale, back, chair pose with the hands to the heart. And then moving with your breath. Inhaling to rise, exhaling, curl back. Inhaling up straight, exhaling, chair pose, hands to the heart. Inhaling up, exhale, curl back. Inhaling up, exhaling down to chair pose, hands to the heart. And then maybe you're gonna move a little slower, maybe you're gonna move a little faster. If you're moving nice and slow, imagine that you're moving through peanut butter, that your movements, that your arms as they come up have to push through peanut butter. As you're coming down, the tush has to push through peanut butter. Coming down, that might be a little thick, maybe Jello pudding, coming up through Jello pudding, curling back. Inhaling up straight, exhaling down. The next time you're up in tall mountain, on the exhale, take it down to a forward fold. The legs nice and straight, if possible. Let the head hang heavy. Just breathing into it, finding a comfortable place for yourself in forward fold. On your inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Step the right leg way back. Sweep the arms up overhead for high lunge. Holding steady, just breathing into it. Scissor the legs asymmetrically together as you really power up that right leg. Full breath in. On the exhale, bring the right hand down for a bit of a twist, stretching up to the left. Full breath in. On the exhale, bring it on down, framing the front foot. Step the back foot forward. On the inhale, sweep it straight up, tall mountain. Give a little curl back. Inhaling up straight, exhaling, fold forward. Inhaling halfway up. Exhaling to fold forward. Bend the knees, step the left leg way back. Power up the legs. On the inhale, sweep it up, high lunge, curl back. Really powering up the legs. Holding steady. Full breath in. On the exhale, the left hand comes down, the right arm reaches up for the twist. And feel free to have the back knee down for support. Use any means that you need to support yourself. Bring the right hand down. Step the back foot forward. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees deep. Inhale back up, chair pose. Reaching the arms straight up overhead. Inhaling to rise. Exhaling to fold. Do a little semicircle around to the left, keeping the feet pointing forward, the kneecaps pointing forward. Just reaching around that left side. Look over the left shoulder. Just breathing into it. Feel free to bend the knees a bit here. Or have something on that left side that makes the floor like a block so that the floor comes up a bit more. On the inhale, walk it around through the center, coming over to the right. Looking over the right shoulder. Just feeling maybe some opening in that left side of the hip socket. Right around the acetabulum. On your inhale, bring it center. Bend the knees. Inhale up, chair pose. Arms stretch straight up. Inhaling to rise. Exhale, Samasthiti, hands to the heart. Close your eyes and just feel the energy running through the body. The energy of prana, the breath, the energy of your cellular action and muscle energy. Feel the atmosphere on the skin. Take your feet mat's distance apart, toes point forward. On the inhale, take the arms up overhead, bring it down, forward fold. Keeping your feet mat's distance apart, bend into the knees. Take your left foot back, keep the toes to the side of your mat so you have your feet wide apart. The toes turn a bit out, so you have a warrior two back leg and a lunge into the right leg, but the feet are mat's distance apart. Come on up, warrior one. Arms go straight up over the head. We just have a wide gait. This is gonna give us a little bit more room to do some nice gentle twisting, some side bending. All right, straighten into the right leg, come down, forward fold. If you need to bend the right leg, bend it if it's safer, but maybe power up the legs as you come down, tapping the hands to the floor inside the right leg. Just feeling the hamstring stretch. Lift the quad, make your front of your thighs so tight that the kneecaps start to lift up. Push your heels down and forward. Push your butt up. Scissor your legs towards each other as well. Just all this dynamic muscle energy powering up the legs. Bend into the right leg. On the inhale, with the feet as they are, come up towards a warrior two. So it might feel a little funky, but should feel okay with the knees. Take the left arm down, right arm up. Take it into a reverse warrior. Really lunging into that right leg, reaching that left arm down the left leg. The right arm goes up and over. Straighten into the right leg. Make your way to a somewhat triangle pose with the legs nice and wide. Right hand can go inside the right leg, left arm up. Keeping the torso open to the left, bringing that right hand down to the floor on the inside, right under the shoulder, so it's not even touching the leg. Bend back into the leg. Inhale up to that warrior one. However you need to, maybe the hands come to that right knee or to the floor. Step your back foot forward, mat's distance. Take the arms up overhead, lengthen up, curl back. Inhale up straight, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, take the right leg way back, all the way to the right side of the mat. The toes turn out, heel drops in. Power up the legs. On the inhale, cartwheel it up to that warrior two pose. Holding steady. Right hand down, left arm up, curl back. The right hand's gonna kind of walk down that side of the right leg. Left arm reaches up and over. Holding steady. Straighten into the left leg. Come on, I know I forgot warrior one. We'll hit warrior one on our way back. Left hand goes down, right arm up. Just taking a nice slow trip down to a triangle pose here. The arm is coming to the inside of the leg, underneath the shoulder. Right arm's reaching up, legs are powered up. Breathing into it. Holding steady. Bring the right hand down. Take that kind of pyramid fold, feeling that left hamstrings open. Tighten your thighs so much that you feel the kneecaps lift. Then push your heels down. Then think about your shin bones coming towards each other. The butt goes back. The head hangs between the arms. Bend back into the left knee. On the inhale, come up for that warrior one. We'll hold it just a bit. Breathing into it. Powering up that back leg, especially taking that right hip crease back as you bend deep into the left knee. There's the low bellies pulling in, the pelvic floor is lifting. Bring both hands to the left knee or to the floor and step it forward to the top of the mat. Feet max distance apart. On the inhale, take the arms up, lengthen up. On the exhale, fold forward. Let the head hang nice and heavy. Power up the legs. Inhale, halfway up, tapping the shins, the heart goes forward, the chin lifts, nice straight flat back. Full breath in. On the exhale, tap it back down. We're gonna go back to that same stance. Balancing into your right foot, take the left foot way back, feet still max distance. Turning the heel in, toes down. On your inhale, windmill up to that warrior two. Interlace your hands behind the back, or just place your hands on the right on the back of your pelvis and draw the head of the arm bones back. Pull the bottom of your rib cage in, lift the chin a bit, and then diagonally fold forward. So you're away from the right leg, halfway between the right leg and the left leg. Coming down, if you have your hands clasped, you can take that shoulder extension as you come down. Just holding steady. On your inhale, come on up. Bring both hands straight out front. The heart kind of faces the left corner of the room and come down with downward dog arms. Just right to the floor. Press your palms down, press your butt back, power up the legs, and maybe just staying right there, really pushing down through the right heel. Or start to walk your hands towards the back leg, bit by bit. Keep the right knee trying to line up over the right ankle. Maybe even your left hand will grab your left ankle. Maybe your right hand will go to that back leg. Just not anything fierce, just feel the opening in the back right side of the pelvis. A little bit of a standing hip opener. On your next inhale, start to make your way back towards, hands come to the front of the mat. Straighten into the right leg and just take a nice bow over, like your head goes between the arms, so you're on this, the body comes down inside that right leg. Power up the thighs. Bend back into the right leg. Bring both hands to the right knee. Step the left foot forward. Inhale, stand straight up, reach up, gentle curl back. Inhale up straight. Exhale the hands to the heart. Just feeling the difference between the energy coursing through the sides of the body. On the next inhale, take the arms up overhead. On the exhale, fold forward. Inhaling halfway up. Feel the power of the legs already ignited. Full breath in on the exhale, fold forward, bend the knees, take the right leg back, mat's distance, still stays on the side of the mat, heel goes in. On the inhale, windmill it up, reverse. Nope, not reverse warrior, warrior two. Then maybe the hands go to the back of your pelvis or they interlace behind the back. Head of the arm bones go back. The front of the torso is nice and tight and strong as you fold diagonally forwards. Maybe just the hands and the pelvis push into each other as you come down. Maybe the hands interlace and you take that shoulder extension. Keeping the left knee powered up over the left ankle. As best as you can. It might knock in a little bit, that's okay. On the inhale, come on up. Hands go straight forward. They're going diagonally towards that right side of the room and then come down like downward dog, arms. Press the palms down and try to push forward. Push the floor forward. Push the bum back. Power up the legs. Let the head hang between the arms. If you'd like, you can take the hands a bit more towards that back leg. Just see how it feels on the outer left leg. Maybe the right hand grabs the right ankle. Maybe the left hand will grab somewhere on that right leg as well, or just stay on the floor. Feel that nice stretch across the back body. The left hip socket, the left back of the pelvis, and when we stretch that left arm over, the back of the rib cage gets a little bit of a stretch. On your next inhale, bring your hands back towards the front of the mat. Straighten into the left leg. Power up the legs. Let the body come down between the arms. The head comes down between the arms. The body comes down to the inside of that left leg. Bend forward into the left knee. Take both hands to the left knee. On your inhale, step the back foot forward. Feet mat's distance apart. Inhale, take the arms up overhead, lengthen them. Give a gentle curl back. Inhaling up center, exhale, hands to the heart and bring the feet together. Cross your right foot over your left foot. Bend the knees and just take a gentle forward fold coming down. Letting the head hang. Just feel the stretch in the outside line of the legs. It's just countering those wide-gated warrior and side angle poses. Bend the knees. On the inhale, start to roll it up. Separate the feet. Taking your left foot in front of your right foot. Bend the knees, a gentle fold forward. Hands coming to the floor. Bowing the head. You can straighten the knees or not. You already might be feeling a nice counter stretch to the outside of the hip sockets. A nice restoring energy to the inner thighs. Bend the knees on the inhale, roll it on up. Separate the feet about hips distance. On the inhale, take the arms up, lengthen up. Curl back. Inhaling up center, exhale, hands to the heart. Take the feet mat's distance, turn the toes out. Come on down for a baseball catcher squat or Malasana, just something that feels good for you. And just breathing into it. Push down through the heels. Push the palms together. Push the thumbs and the sternum together a bit. From here, you can kind of go down onto the bum and stretch your legs straight out in front, or rise up and take it through a vinyasa if you like. We're going to end up just sitting on our bum with the legs out straight for Paschimottanasana. Seated forward fold. So if you're going through the vinyasa, we'll come through a cobra, a low push-up, a cobra or up dog, and just press back to a kneeling seated position, scooching over to one side and bringing the legs out straight. Flexing through the feet. Take the hands a bit back behind you, lift the heart up, point the toes. Push your heels down as you point the toes. If there's cramping, flail the toes. Lift the heart up, look up, let the head go back. Try to think cat round here, even though we're doing the exact opposite of cat round. Push the sits bones down, push the hands down, lift the heart up, let the head go back, and then try to pull that navel to the back of the body and relax into it. Flex the feet. You can bend the knees here. You can make it one potato, two potato fists with each hand and put one under the knee, each knee, and fold forward. Or maybe a pillow or a couple blocks under the knees. Maybe your legs are nice and straight. Power up the thighs. With the knees bent, to power up the thighs, really flex your feet. Push the heels down and lift the pelvic floor as you tone the low belly. You will feel a nice energy come up the front of your thighs. If the legs are straight, same action, but it's easier to tone the front of the thighs with straight legs. But sometimes it's nicer on the knees, just to give it a little bend. On the inhale, come on up. Press the hands down into the floor in front of your hips, in front of that hip socket line. Press the floor down like you're trying to lower it to the basement. Lift the heart up, look up. Imagine your legs lifting up. Just keep pushing the arms down. The legs don't have to go anywhere. Keep the thighs tight. Keep the feet active. Lift the pelvic floor, tone the low belly. Push down through the hands as you lift through the heart, look up. Take the head of the arm bones back as you lean forward and push down. And relax on into it. Scoot your tush forward. Lay down on your back. Reach the arms up overhead. On your inhale, bring the arms along the sides of the body. And exhale them back up. Set your feet for bridge pose. And next inhale, as the arms come to the pelvis up. As the arms go up and down, on the exhale, lower the pelvis. And just keep moving with your breath. Imagine moving through Jell-O pudding. Just that little tiny bit of extra effort to get the arms through the Jell-O pudding, to lift the pelvis up through Jell-O pudding. It's just enough to imagine it. The body starts to work as if it's really happening. That's the beauty of the imagination and the curse of the imagination. Is the body will think it's happening. All right, the next time the arms are up overhead, bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees roll out to the side. Let the elbows soften. And just lay and breathe into the back of the body. On your next inhale, bring the knees together and into the chest. Grab hold of your knees, lift the forehead up towards your knees. Pull the belly in, get a nice rounded back for Upanasana. Lifting the butt off the floor, lifting the shoulder blades off the floor. Relax the back of the pelvis into the floor, stretch the arms forward, stretch the legs forward about 2 inches up off the floor. You can lift the body up a bit more and we'll go Kapalabhati. So just imagine you're blowing out a candle. For those of you who don't know what Kapalabhati is, you're just blowing out a birthday candle. And rest it all the way down. Just surrendering the body into gravity. Feeling that kinesthetic energy through the front of the torso. We'll go one more round of Kapalabhati. Bring the knees to the chest. Hands grab the knees and then round up through the back. Bring the forehead and knees together. Lift the butt a bit. Get the belly nice and toned, pulling the navel in. Then relax the back of the pelvis. Stretch the arms straight. Take the legs out for Lobo and Kapalabhati. And rest it down. Really let the body surrender into gravity. Bring the knees into the chest. Start to rock and roll, bringing the hands behind the thighs or in front of the knees. Just rocking and rolling. The next time you're up, keep the knees bent. Feet on the floor, arms can go back, and just start to windshield wiper the knees side to side. And give it a little bit of effort so that you're going to push the knees down and bring it up through center. Push it down to the right and bring it up center. And just going a bit, side by side. The next time the knees are coming up from the opposite side you started from, separate the feet, max distance, let the knees drop to the right, bring the left arm forward, spin your right hand so you can kind of lean into it a bit. And as you lean into the right hand a bit, try to lift your body up away from the right hand so that your hand and your body go in opposite directions, left arms up, and press the pelvis up. Curl back a bit. Bring the pelvis down as you sweep the left arm over to the right. Let it sweep across the floor, and as it comes up on the left, lift the pelvis again. And then just making those little circular motions with the arm, or big circle motions. As the arm comes up, the pelvis comes up. As the arm comes down, the pelvis goes down. If there's any issues at all with the shoulder, you can actually do this down on the forearm if it's better. And you can bring your left fingers to your top of the arm bone, making circles with the elbow, maybe just lifting that pelvis just a bit. Just any way that you can kind of modify it. Now we have to go the other way. So now taking the circle the other way, as the pelvis comes down to, as the arm comes down to the left, the pelvis is down. As it lifts up in front, the pelvis comes up. And imagine you're in Jello pudding. Some resistance happening here. The next time the pelvis is coming down, make your way back to just laying on your back. Getting just a nice long body. The arms can stretch up towards the ceiling and then to the floor or out to a T or right along the sides of the body. But just kind of feel that little kinesthetic difference, the vibration of energy from your movements, how it runs through the right side of your hip different than the left side because of the way we were working. How it runs through the shoulder girdle, just teaching the mind to invest on the inner aspect of your being, starting with the body. All right, knees to the chest, hands to the knees or behind the hamstrings. Start to rock and roll it up. Maybe massaging the back body a bit. And then coming up, taking the feet now, mat's distance, and the knees are going to go to the left. Left hand goes back, right arm stretches forward. Just start to circle the arm. Lift the pelvis up. Actually, give yourself a nice stretch here before circling it. Really stretching that right arm up and back as the pelvis comes up. And sweeping the arm back behind you, bringing the pelvis down. Sweeping it forward, the pelvis comes up. Just making those circles. And this shoulder, my right shoulder, is still healing from a bit of a I jammed it up. So I'm just going to bring my fingers to the shoulder, taking it up and around. You can also be down on that left forearm, just making it work for you. Maybe the pelvis just needs to lift a bit. Just getting the transitional energy, muscle energies working that lift the pelvis up. Right. The next time the pelvis is coming down, we'll reverse the circle. As it goes back and up, the pelvis comes up. As the arm comes forward and down, the pelvis comes down. Just connecting it with the breath. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Maybe it's working vice versa for you. The next time the pelvis is coming on down to the floor, spin yourself around and laying on your back. Just taking a nice long body position. Arms can go up and back or out to the side or laying along the sides of the body. Keep the eyes open, but just find like a nice comfortable place for the bony landmarks, maybe wiggling around a little bit. Right, on the inhale, the knees come to the chest. Hands to the knees or behind the knees and rock and roll it up. Just giving that back of the body a nice little rock and roll massage. All right, next time you're coming up to seated, we'll scooch the knees over to one side and make our way to tabletop. This is where you may need some knee pads. So taking your right ankle is going to go behind your left knee, and the knee sets to the floor, square to the left knee. So you can put a little pad under that right knee, or maybe a pad under each knee. Set the hands up like you would for tabletop. Tuck the left toes, and just first start to move the body like cat-cow. Inhaling to that cow pose, sticking the butt out, lifting the chin and chest, exhaling to the cat round. Just activating some different ways the pelvis and femur head move together. The next time you're in that cow pose where the butt is kind of sticking out, push your butt back into the right. Push your left leg and your right toes into each other. Like if you push your knees down and away from each other, you'll feel a nice muscle energy around the hip sockets. Push your butt back into that right side. Stretch your left arm over to the left. So the right butt pushes back into the right. The toes in the lower leg push into each other, and the left arm reaches diagonally forward for the left, and the head can just kind of hang heavy towards the floor. Really breathing into that back right hip socket. Keeping the legs as they are, come back up towards that tabletop. See if you can just rise up to a kneeling, standing position with the legs like that. Feel free to use the couch or the bed, whatever is around you. Take the arms up overhead and just a little curl back. Just like a gentle camel action. Maybe that left hand will just tap the heel. You don't want to press into that right heel. Just maybe tap it, curl back more. You might even be able to reach the left hand back and tap the left heel. Don't lean into it, just tap it. Lift the heart up, lift that right arm up. Full breath in. Wow, on your inhale, bring that left arm back up and make your way back to tabletop. Kick your right leg out to the side. Bring your left hand to the floor, square with the left leg for like a gate pose. Stretching the right arm forward. Really getting a nice stretch through that whole right side, from your right ankle bone, through the hip, through the rib cage, the side of the rib cage, through the right arm. Full breath in. On your exhale, bring the elbow and knee together, give it a little squish, and then kick it back out. Imagine moving through that jello. Exhaling, elbow and knee, squeeze, inhaling them out. Exhaling, they squeeze, inhaling them out. And then just moving with your breath. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, keep the right leg off the floor and hold on when you squish them in, hold for 3. You'll feel the side of the core working with the obliques, really getting some power into that side body. The next time the arm and leg extend, if the leg's floating, drop it down. Really arc your body like a banana on that right side. Look at the left hand and reaching that right hand to the floor and bring it on back through to tabletop. Tuck the toes, take it up to a downward dog. Pedaling out the feet. And if downward dog is not a pose that works for you, keep the left knee down and stretch your right leg back. Bring the left arm forward just for a little counter pose. If you're in the downward dog counter pose, lift the right leg up, bend the knee, open the hip to the right, look over the left shoulder. Before we go to the other side, we're going to take a little pigeon prep just to counter everything. Wherever you are, bring that right knee forward between the hands. Stretch the left leg back a bit and then squeeze your knees isometrically together. You can tuck the back toes or point them. Come on down to the forearms. Just breathe like a child's pose energy here, except where you're just gently tractioning the knees towards each other to keep the back of the pelvis square, the hip sockets ignited, but the energy of the heart and the face are like a child's pose energy. You can make a 1 potato, 2 potato pillow, rest the forehead down. On your inhale, come on up to the palms. Take it back, either downward dog with both feet down, pressing the heels down, or tabletop, extending the right leg back and really pushing through the heel. Just bringing a nice straight energy through that right knee. And we'll bring it back tabletop. We call this series with the ankle behind the knee. And when we go up towards the camel pose, we call it the funky comedema. I don't know why or how that happened, but it's a funky camel pose. So we call it funky comedema. All right, left ankle is going to go behind the right knee. Nope. Sorry, the right ankle is going to go behind the left knee. Then both knees on the floor. Push your knees down and away from each other so you feel that tensegrity of the hip sockets. Clip the toes and the lower left leg together. Nope, that's the wrong side. Sorry, guys. Go to your other side. I think the right ankle goes back. I think so. I was this way before. Sorry, guys. Left ankle goes back. All right, knees square each other. You're probably already finished the pose. Push the lower right leg and the toes together. Start to just come through those cat-cow poses. Inhale, lifting up for the heart, chest, and chin. Exhale, rounding through the back. Just starting, it's called the AF articulation. Means that the acetabulum is moving around the femur head. Usually we have the femur head moving inside the acetabulum, the hip socket. All right, the next time the bum is sticking out, you're going to push down to the left with your pelvis, come down onto that left forearm, and stretch your right arm over to the right. So you feel a nice dynamic stretch from the back of the left side of the pelvis all the way through the right shoulder blade, a little diagonal stretch. You can bring the forehead to that left forearm or fist. Keep pushing your toes and your lower leg into each other. Keep lifting through the pelvic floor, toning the low belly. Just stretch through that right arm, pushing that left side of the bum back. On your next inhale, bring the hands and arms back up through to that tabletop pose. And then just see about coming up to a kneeling standing position with the legs just like that. Keep pushing the knees away from each other so you feel the toes and the lower leg hook into each other. The arms can go straight up, just lifting up through the heart. The hands can go to the low back, taking a very funky camel kind of wannabe pose. Funky comedema. Maybe that right hand will just tap the left heel. The left arm can go up. Maybe as your back bend starts to open, the right hand can tap into the heel. If you find yourself leaning into the foot, back out a bit. Just reach the arm back and lift the heart up. No need to tap the heel at all. On the inhale, bring it up center. Exhaling towards that tabletop. Take the left foot back. You can go in downward dog with the left leg straight up, or tabletop with the left leg straight back. Just finding a bit of a counter pose for that left leg. If you're in downward dog, you can bend the leg, open it. And then we'll all bring that left knee forward for the pigeon prep. If you're in tabletop, it comes forward. If you're in downward dog, the knee comes forward. Then the right leg extends back a bit. Once the leg is back, they squeeze, the knees squeeze towards each other, the pelvic floor lifts, come on down to the forearms, resting the heart and the face. So you can stretch the arms forward. My body has a hard time with bringing my head to the floor, so I just make a 1 potato, 2 potato pillow and rest the forehead down. The knees are still gently coming towards each other. The pelvic floor is lifting, the low belly is toned, but the heart and the face are soft. On your next inhale, come on up to the palms. Tuck the back toes, either taking yourself to tabletop or downward dog with that left leg up in the air. If you go back to tabletop, that left leg can stretch back. The ball of the foot comes on the floor. If you're in downward dog split, come on back down tabletop with the left leg out. Turn the left leg in and we're gonna go to that. I don't know how the heck we got there. Take your left leg from tabletop. Take your left leg out to the side. Bring the right hand to frame alongside the right leg. Stretch the left arm forward like a gate pulse. Just getting a nice stretch. You can lift that left leg up if you like. Alrighty, full breath in. On the exhale, the elbow and the knee tap together. On the inhale, they extend out. You can make it more challenging by really squeezing the knee and the elbow together and holding for a breath cycle, and then inhaling it out, or be more cardiovascular, extending out quicker. Let's see what feels nicer for your body. The next time the arm and leg extend out, take the stretch, push the left foot down into the floor, look at the right hand. Stretch your left arm like you're making this banana bend with the left side of the body towards the floor. The rib cage lifts up, but the arm and the leg push down. And bring it on down to tabletop. Walk your knees back a bit. Bring the shoulder girdle forward and lay down on the belly. Make a little pillow. Rest the head on the hands and give it a little shake. Prop up onto your forearms, lining your elbows right under your shoulders. The hands can go forward for a little bit more of a challenge for mini plank, or clasp the hands. It just gives it a little bit more, the core can draw more energy from the arms when the hands clasp together. Tuck your toes. You can use your knees first to lift the pelvis up as high as your shoulder blades. The knees can stay down the whole time. Push the knees kind of in, down, and in towards the elbows. As the elbows push, you'll feel the front of the core ignite and the torso muscles. Or lift the knees up for way more of a challenge. Keep the cat round action and the cobra action nice and even in the body. There's a tendency for the butt to go up here a bit, which is fine. You're still going to get a nice core workout. But see if you can swivel your toes back. Bring that pelvis in line with the shoulder blades. Power up the thighs. Think cat round, cobra action. In mini plank with the knees up, the elbows and toes push away from each other. With the knees down, they push towards each other. The knees and the elbows. 20 more minutes. Just kidding. Keep the chin forward. Keep a little cobra action. The chin comes forward in cobra. And bring it all the way down onto the belly. Make a little pillow. Rest it on out. We'll go one more time, mini plank. We're going to add a little rock and roll to it if you'd like. You can also just set it up like we did before with the knees down. Taking the pelvis up, maybe the knees are up. And we're going to rock the shoulders forward. So using the ball of the foot, rock the body forward and then back, forward and back. Keep the pelvic floor lifting, low belly tone. Keep that kind of cat round going, but also that cobra action going. Just working the core in transition, just a little tiny transition of the body, back and forth. All right, the next time the body rocks back, if the knees are up, set them down. Bring the pelvis down. Separate the hands, bring the elbows a bit more forward so you're in a Sphinx pose with the bottom of the rib cage resting into the floor. Give the pelvis a nice little shake. And then let it come to stillness. Push your forearms down, in, and away from you. Lift the heart up. Let the rib cage and the butt kind of settle. No energy really. All the energy in the forearms, squeezing together and forward. Together, down, and forward. Just feeling that kind of, there's a condensing energy, a pulling energy at the sacral bone and the lumbar vertebra. Just let it pull for a bit. If there's pain, bring the arms forward more or come out of it altogether. You can have your hands on the floor with it, making a pillow, pushing your arms down and forward to get a very similar effect. All right, rest it all the way down. Line the hands along the sides of the heart. Press yourself up and back to a wide knee child's pose. And feel free to put a pillow or a rolled up blanket behind the knees for this pose. Bring the forehead down and just breathe into that back body that we were just kind of condensing. On your next inhale, come on forward to laying on the belly. Kick the heels to the bum. You can take your knees nice and wide and you can come up onto the forearms for more of a back bend in Sphinx pose. Just holding steady, creating that cat round, cobra action, pushing the arms down and in and back down, pushing out through the heels. Or you can take a bow, reach back for the ankles or the feet, and on your inhale, kick up to bow. Just taking it wherever it feels most beneficial for you. And then just breathing into it. If you've been holding bow for a bit, you can come down into that Sphinx pose. Or if you've been in the Sphinx pose and feel like now there's an opportunity for the body to go into bow, you can bow it on up. We got 20 minutes. Just kidding. All right, wherever you are, full breath in. On the exhale, lay it all the way down. Make a little pillow. Give the body a gentle shake. Bring it to stillness. Feel the energy of the back body. Just noticing it. We'll go one more time, either into that Sphinx pose with the knees bent, heels pushing up, toes pulling down, tractioning the arms in and back, lifting up through the heart, but also activating a bit of a cat round, or another bow, reaching back for the feet or the ankles. Inhale, kicking up to bow. If you've got the ankles, the knees can come together. Push up through the heels. Just breathing into it. Keep fine-tuning the back bend, but also activating the cat round wherever you are, pulling that navel in and up. As you intensify the back bend, intensify the cat round, even though you won't see the cat round. Full breath in. On the exhale, bring it on down. Make the little pillow. Give the body a little Etch-a-Sketch shake. Hike your right leg out for half frog. Side bend your body over towards the left side. Kick your left heel, the right leg's out, side bend towards the right. Kick the left heel to the butt. Reach back with your right hand, grabbing the left foot and rest into it. It's a little passive stretch for the inner thighs, a little slacking for the right IT band, a nice stretch for the left quadriceps, the front of the thighs, and a little side bend. The body's bending towards the right, so the left side gets a little stretch, and the right side gets a little relaxation, a little slacking, a little release of tension. Release the back leg, bring the torso back center. Extend that right leg back. Bring the left leg out to the side for a half frog. Side bend the body towards that left leg. Make a little pillow for the head and then kick the right heel to the butt. Maybe that left hand will go back. And then find a resting point in the pose. If it feels too much, we haven't really done any thigh stretches, so it's a nice opportunity to stretch open that right thigh and the thighs here. But if there's any pain in the low back, release the foot. You can get the thigh stretch just by bending the leg. You don't have to reach back for it. Just let yourself kind of surrender the body into gravity. The only thing really working is that left hand if it's holding the foot. Everything else is just softening, and even the hand is trying to be as soft as it can. Release the center. Extend the left leg back. Make a little pillow. Take your legs about mat's distance or a little bit less. Bend the knees and just windshield wiper the feet and lower legs side to side. Bring it back center. Scooch the knees together. Extend the legs long and roll on over to your back. Bringing the knees to the chest, hands to the knees, head on the floor. Just making circles with the knees going one way. Taking it the other direction. Set the feet on the floor. Take your feet a little bit wider than your own pelvis. Press the knees together. Lift the pelvis up about 4 inches off the ground. Root down through the back of the arms. Give the shoulder blades a bit of a squeeze together, but let your pelvis get heavy. So use the back of the shoulders and arms and the feet. And even a tiny bit the head pressing down to keep the pelvis floating up. But see if you can just relax the pelvic floor, relax the low belly, relax the hip sockets, but power up through the back of the arms and the feet and squeeze the knees together. And release the pelvis on down. Bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees fall out to the side. Press the pinky side of your feet down into the floor and into each other as you press the back of the arms down. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and lift the pelvis up. Just breathing into it. See how if there's pain, drop the pelvis. You can just lay out in supine butterfly. But maybe the pelvis can go up a little tiny bit more, really getting the deeper attachments of the adductor muscles up in the groin area. And bring it on down. Bring the knees together. Separate the feet and knees, hips distance. If you have a pillow or a block, lift your pelvis up and slide the block or the pillow right under the back of your pelvis for a restorative back bend. And if there's nothing there, maybe make a little fist, a 1 potato, 2 potato fist, and just place it on the either side of your sacral bone, resting the pelvis down. See how it feels in your shoulders to do that? You can also cross your hands and just lay that, like make a little triangle as you cross the fingers and the thumb. You make a little triangle there that the sacral bone can kind of float into. Just kind of restoring energy between the lumbar spine, the sacral bone, and the hips on the side, the hip bones on the sides. But maybe you're in a nice restorative bridge pose. Just resting into it. Either removing your hands from under the bum or removing the block from the restorative. Take the tush over to the right. Bring the left foot over to meet the right foot. You can cross the right leg over the left leg and let the knees drop to the left. Or just uncrossing the legs, letting the knees drop to the left. You can take any twist. There's a bunch of different twists that would be really beneficial here. Once you're in your twist, you can bring your right hand to the side of your pelvis, like hook your fingers around that hip bone. Take your left hand to the rib cage. Just imagine your hands melting into the bones and then pulling away from each other. Just a little myofascial stretch. The head can look straight up. You can actually roll your chin to the left. In twists, final twists, the head usually goes the opposite way that the knees are going. I have a very straight cervical spine, so that never feels nice for me. Either just looking straight up to the ceiling is most beneficial for me. And even if I let my head turn a bit the same side as the knees can feel nice. You can kind of play around with the placement of the head. And you can have your arms out to the sides or up overhead. The arms can go wherever feels nice for you. I particularly like this little myofascial stretch for my body, so I kind of just suggest it. On your inhale, make your way up through center. Set the feet and the pelvis center, bent knees, and just lift your pelvis up halfway to the knees, and then roll it down. Scooch it to the left. Scooch the feet to the left. The right knee will hook over the left knee, and the knees go right. The left knee goes over the right knee, and the knees go right. Or just taking your twist to the opposite side. Right hand to the rib cage, left hand to the pelvis. And just that melting in. Feel the soft muscle of your finger pads and palms just melt into all the way through to the bones, and then just a little myofascial stretch away from each other. Or however you want the arms to go. And then letting the head go where it likes to go. It's breathing into that, twisting side, that left side. On your inhale, making your way back to center, bringing the pelvis back, center to the mat. Let the knees rest into each other, walk the feet a little bit wider than your pelvis, turn the toes in, rest the arms along the sides, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the pelvis just a bit, and then roll it down from the top. Give yourself a few breath cycles here, just letting the inner thighs and the pelvic floor and the low belly rest. Seeing if there's any little organic movements that your body needs to make, or maybe you'd like to hike them over the couch or the bed, or take your legs up the wall. Just giving yourself some space and time so that you can be comfortable in Shavasana. Once you're laid out in Shavasana, really surrender into gravity. Keeping the energy of the mind going inward, starting with the body, the outer skin. So as you inhale, feel the inner body kind of expand like a balloon. And as you exhale, imagine that balloon kind of emptying, but you feel the atmosphere on the skin. So the inhale can give you focus on that inside of the body, and the exhale just on the outer skin. And then we can tap into our imagination once again, imagining that as you inhale, every cell of your body is taking a big breath in with you. And all of those little cells and the organelles within the cells are taking in this breath and getting the benefit of this prana. Every cell, within every cell are these little apparatus, the Golgi bodies, the endoplasmic reticulum, the ribosomes. I forget all of the names of all of those little organelles. The muscles have mitochondria. We call them the mighty mitochondria. They're so powerful, so packed with power. Each cell life is devoted to your body, your being. So let each inhale bless every cell of the body with its pranic life force energy. And each exhale, let the body bless the outer environment. Like our exhale blesses the trees with carbon dioxide. Our inhale draws in life force energy, and our exhale sends out blessings. And then let yourself go down to the atomic level, past the cellular level. Just imagine that nucleus of an atom, the electrons roaming around the outside, protons squirming around the insides, all of this motion, such a atomic level. Imagine the spaces between the electrons and the nucleus, the space in the nucleus between the protons. Just noticing how taking the mind, these very small attributes of physical being, that more space broadens open. There's this infinite expanse of space going inward, expanding from the microcosm to the macrocosm, from the anu to the om. Just relaxing into that energy. Just noticing that infinite energy of space between things. So imagine inhaling yourself back together, coming from that atomic level, piece by piece, coming to that cellular level of your physical being. The tissues, the organs, the muscles, the bones. It's coming back all together. Pushing the breath through the low belly. Inhaling the arms up towards the sky, maybe even back behind you. Giving yourself a nice long body stretch, a little morning stretch. Keeping a sense of fullness in the back of the body. Inhale the knees to the chest. Gently roll over to one side, coming into a fetal position and finding the power on whatever hand lands on top. On an inhale, gently pressing through that hand, come on up to a comfortable seated position, facing the front of your mat. Bringing the hands once again together in front of the heart. Give a little press of the thumbs and the sternum together. Give a little tonus of the torso, connecting with your intention in the garden of the heart if you set one. You're offering a blessing for somebody else in the center of the palms. Our community offering out across the planet for light and love and healing, and our Memorial Day blessing to all those who served, all those who are serving still. Inhale, filling the heart. Exhale, gently fold forward, sealing in your practice. Inhaling to rise. The hands rest on the knees, palms up. The index finger curls into the thumb. We'll take a nice release breath. And one Om, full breath in. Om. Namaste.